Okay, here's another update on the e-bike conversion on my Pacific Cycles hand cycle. I did a little more work today. I also did a lot of work yesterday that I did not record. Got the front marker remounted, reflector. Got the accessory headlight mounted. That took a C-clamp. There's not a lot of things to mount to this bike. There's no need, no neat mounting points. You're just sort of stuck with what you're stuck with. I've got the gear shifter working. I replaced the cable yesterday because I had damaged the cable. Cut a 1/4 inch off the housing. I think I mentioned that on my last video. Same goes for the brake. I replaced the brake cable. These brake shoes are terrible. I mean, the brakes are working and I can squeeze them, but there's not a lot of stopping power. So I have ordered new ones. Something that hopefully will give it a little bit better grip for stopping. Because it takes a number of feet to bring this thing to a stop, and it shouldn't take that long at low speed. I may have mentioned, don't recall, I moved the throttle. Having all those cables on the left-hand pedal was just problematic. Things kept getting tangled up. In fact, I think I damaged the speed sensor cable because the computer is no longer showing me speed. There's the magnet and the speed sensor. I think there's an LED on the bottom of that, so I might put that on the wheelchair lift later, hoist it up, spin the front wheel, see if the LED comes on. I redid a lot of the cable management, which basically meant not taking off nearly every cable tie I had, but I got that all squared away. I also took the left crank off, grabbed the tool that came with my Bafang kit, unscrewed that cap right here, and then put the tool on the inner cap, the inner ring, and using my 1-pound mallet, spun that thing more than a 1/4 of a turn. It was fairly loose, so I ended up spinning it in quite a bit. I was noticing a lot of jerkiness, and I think that's why I had a lot of tight cables, was that the motor had spun in the mount and yanked all the cables tight. So that wasn't going to do, and in the end that would have tore things up too much. The seat cushion is working great. That aluminum seat pan I bolted to the seat bracket is working fantastic. I had to cut off the grab handles. You can sort of see the end of that one. But it simply wouldn't fit. The seat cushion is 18 inches across, 16 inches deep, and I need all of that. The back of the seat's pretty good. I wouldn't mind seeing it a little more upright, but frankly I don't think it matters that much. If I want it more upright, I can always slide the seat back a 1/4 of an inch. One problem I ran into yesterday, and I'm sure it's because the motor was not tightly attached to the bottom bracket, was that I was making practice laps here, and I had pulled those 2 power leads out. So that put an end to the fun. That was it for today. I ended up spending the rest of the day recabling all of that, and that's when I knew for sure I needed to do something about the motor mounting. The 18.5 millimeter offset on the 42-inch chain ring is working pretty well. It's lined up pretty nicely, so I have no complaints there. I don't think I'm going to change it. I do have an 18-tooth sprocket there. I would really like to change it out for the 22-tooth I bought, because if I don't go for any assistance and I'm in first gear with the extra weight, it's a lot of effort for me to swing that thing around, get it pedaling, get it started. So thankfully I decided to keep the throttle lever, because that's pretty handy. Once I get rolling, I can do pretty good. I got it up to 4th gear, and sadly I don't know how fast I was going. It wasn't very fast, I'm in speed assist 1, and that seemed to work pretty well. I think I could have shifted up to 5th, but I was a little worried about going too fast with crappy brakes. My new brake pads should be here on Tuesday, so we'll get that settled. The other issue I have is I got an error message on the display that said 21H. I don't know what that means. I'm going to go look it up and figure it out. I also did a little bit of programming. The throttle is now set to speed mode, not current mode. I've turned down the start current to 10% on the pedal assist, and the initial assist level I left where it was. I think it was at 4 for the start for the pedal. I don't know what that means. I'd have to look that up, but I left that at 4. I think that's about everything I've done so far. Get those few little kinks worked out, and maybe I'll feel comfortable enough to pedal it around the neighborhood. We'll see. So overall, I'm not terribly unhappy, and I don't like this mount I've got the display mounted on. It's kind of crooked. It doesn't fit very well to that bracket. It's not a great quality mount. I'd like to do something else with it. Personally, I would like to have it more up here, but I can't do that and still have room for the throttle. I don't want to reach around the chain ring to do that. It's already dangerously close as far as I'm concerned. But it does bring it kind of close to my body, which may not be a bad thing, but I think it's a little awkward. So that's about it. We'll see how it goes as I do more research and keep fine-tuning things.